Okay, so welcome to the first video for the Fabulous test. This is going to be a great visual to help reinforce the letter F, which stands for fit. If you don't already know, image is important, image matters. Your image is important to your success both socially and professionally. So we're not talking about getting the fit right for just the interview or for work. We're really talking about for every occasion. At the very least, having the right fit makes you feel so much better. So we're talking about fit. Again, we don't want it too tight or too loose. I really hate to see when someone's put in an effort to find a great suit or a piece that works for them, whether it's the color, the style, their personality, the occasion, their lifestyle, etc., only to find that they sabotage their efforts with an ill-fitting suit. An ill-fitting suit creates a distraction. A distraction creates confusion with your viewer, and so that's not a good thing. That closes doors. So we want to make a good first impression and lasting impression, and you can do that with the correct fit. So today in this video, very short video, I want to talk to you about at least 6 points on the jacket, and then we're going to talk about your pants. But let's talk about the jacket first. When we talk about fit, there's 6 areas in your jacket or a shirt or a top that you can apply the same concept to. Our first one is we're going to work from the top down. So we're going to start with the shoulders. Okay, this jacket happens to be too big for this mannequin. As you can see, there's lots of extra room here. Okay, you can see the extra room here we have in the bust. You may not be able to tell, but the shoulders of the mannequin are actually up here. So this would be a suit that's too big. So here you have your shoulder seam. It's where your collarbone meets your arm, and that's where you want to have your seam for your shoulder. And that's really the biggest point when you're looking to a jacket. You want to make sure that you get that correct, because if it's too big, it's too expensive to alter. That's a huge part of the garment, and you just need to look for a different size. Don't think, okay, I'm just going to have the shoulders redone, because you're really redoing the whole garment, and you just need to get a garment that really fits you in a size larger or smaller, whichever the issue is. So the shoulder area is the first issue we're talking about. The second issue is in the chest or the bust area. So if you're a man, we're talking about the chest. You certainly do not want this area to be pulling. Okay, if you notice your jacket's pulling when you have it on, okay, that would mean that you would need to go up a size. Okay, the fit is not correct. So you need to have ease. When I talked about ease in the different challenge areas for women, we want to make sure you have at least an inch, inch and a half in the bust area. You need room to move around, so that's important. Again, this is too loose, okay, but you need to have this fit just right. The third area is the waist. Okay, and you see this, I guess, more with women who tend to carry their weight in the middle. And what they'll tend to do is keep the jacket unbuttoned, so that gives them more room. Okay, they may wear a double-breasted suit that helps hide that. But the fit should really be comfortable. You should be able to button the garment. So if you see any tugging area around the button, so for instance, when you see it pulling, okay, you know it's too tight and you need to, again, go up a size. Okay, the fourth area that we're talking about is the hip area. And that's really, you need to make sure that that jacket fits around the hip area and that there is ease. Again, room to move around. A lot of women, you have the hourglass, the pear shape, where the hips tend to be your challenge area. You tend to have garments, if they are long enough and hit it exactly at your widest part of your body, it will pull. And you can feel that. It's not a good feeling, and you know exactly what that is. So we're looking to make sure that down at the hip area, that has ease as well. Okay, let me turn the garment around, okay, because I'd like to show you in the back what you need to look for in your garments as well. Okay, so very quickly, we've looked at the things in the front of the jacket. What you need to look here is across the top, under the yoke, the back of the collar. For men, you want to make sure that there's no gap and that it's not too tight. Here, see how there's some extra material here? You actually see what looks like maybe a dart. Okay, this is showing that there's too much material, it's too big. As well as you can see here, there's a dart. Okay, this is just showing that there's way too much room in this jacket. So you would need to, again, go to a smaller size. The last area that I want to talk to you about is the sleeve length. This is very important. This is something that you can have altered. So a lot of times when you're looking at a garment, the sleeve length doesn't fit, and that's okay because everybody has a different proportion with their arms. But what you need to know is that it's an easy alteration. Everything else that I just mentioned, if it doesn't fit, that usually means you need to go to a different size jacket. Again, if the shoulders don't fit, and that's where you want to start, if they're too big, don't look to reconstruct the shoulder areas. It's too expensive. There's just way too much work to go into it. You're better off finding a jacket where the shoulders actually fit correctly. And all the other measurements I talked about, again, not the right fit. You need to either move up or down in the size of the jacket. But when we're talking about the sleeve, okay, whether it's a shirt or a suit, we're really looking at hitting at the wrist bone. And that's really the wrist bone. So that's really important for suits. You really want it to hit at the wrist bone. Your shirts may come down a little bit more, somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 inch, depending again how tall you are for a man. But for women, we're really looking at hitting that jacket at the wrist bone, and sleeves as well. So there you have it. That's with fit as far as the jacket. I'm going to show you in just a minute what you need to do with the pants to fit the key areas that you need to check into for a pair of pants. Okay, we're back to talk about the second part of fit, and that's on the bottom half of your body with pants. So I just gave you some tips to help you with your jacket or tops, and this is with the pants. There's 3 areas you need to be concerned with, and the first happens to be the waist. A lot of times the belt, wearing a belt can take care of a too loose a pair of pants, but if it's too much, then you need to bring them into a seamstress and they can take in a little bit, they make a little V in the back. And for those of you who have challenge areas of the hip, the bust, or thighs, and you know that you need to accommodate this area first, knows that the waist will tend to be a little bit too big and that you always have to take that into for an alteration. That's a simple alteration and no big deal. And those who deal with it on a regular basis don't even think anything about it. So your waist is the area you want to look for fit. The second is in the crotch area. Okay, here's a pair of pants, and this is what you want to emulate. The pants are draping free from the body. It's not hitting anywhere, and it certainly is not making any wrinkles or any type of pulling in this area. If you tend to see wrinkles or pulling, that's a good indication that the garment's too tight. Just happens to be with your figure and the style of pant. So try a different style of pant, or sometimes even going to a petite will really take care of the extra fabric in here, or if you have a little bit of wrinkles in here due to extra fabric and your body type. There's an exception to the rule. There's a few people, depending on their body type, where they're automatically going to have just a little bit of extra fabric here, and it has to do, again, with their body type, the style of pant, and the fabric. But for the most part, you want to work to have a nice straight finish like this. And the third part to having a great fitting pant is the hem. So there is no magic rule as far as the hem, because it depends on, your height and your proportions, and it depends mostly on the type of heel that you wear. So you want to make sure that the pair of pants hem works with the heel that you're going to wear. So when you've got the specific shoe, make sure you take that into the seamstress and use that shoe for that length. And then you know that you're always going to have to wear that pant with a shoe that has that heel height. And so what a lot of women do is they know if they're going to have a pair of pants, so they're going to wear a higher heel. Okay, then they know that that specific pants will go with a higher heel. Then what they'll do is they'll buy another pair of pants if they want to wear a lower heel. So it gives you the opportunity to wear the different heights with a similar pair of pants. Sometimes you can get away with a different heel height with your pants, but it can't be varying that much in the height. When you start to get a huge difference, 3 inch and 1 inch, it's usually too much, and then the pant hem is going to be too messy, which again goes to an ill-fitting suit, which is not creating the impression that you want to. So fit is really important. Take a look at the fit and think about that every time that you're trying on a new piece that you're thinking about adding to your wardrobe, or whether you should keep a piece that's already in your existing wardrobe. Thanks.